Oh, it is so easy to look at atheists and dismiss them as nihilists. Fair enough, a lot of atheists are nihilists. I've come across these people myself. They have arrived at the conclusion that there is nothing supernatural and they do not possess an immortal soul, and then they realize that their lives are finite, they're going to die, and then they cease to exist, and suddenly they've realized that it is all completely pointless. There's absolutely no point in being alive, in living. You're going to die anyway, so what does it matter? Now, I've already addressed the fallacy in that attitude in previous videos, where I've pointed out that if life is all you'll ever experience, then it is not unimportant, it is all important, to you at least. It might be, of course, it is, of course, completely irrelevant and unimportant from most external perspectives, but those are not perspectives that you are going to experience. You are only going to experience life from the first person perspective, and that changes things an awful lot. Life is far from unimportant, it's far from irrelevant. It is the only thing you'll ever have. So then, we've realized, or at least I hope you will have realized, that if you're an atheist, you have to treat life with some sort of respect, because it's the only chance you'll ever have to be the best you can be. It is the only thing you'll ever experience as well. You will never experience not being alive. So an atheist, as bizarre as it may sound, if they think about it deeply enough, they will realize that they will never be dead. Not from their own first-person perspective. Now then, this all is very personally focused, very much argued from the first-person perspective. But let's look at the whole situation now from how we interact with other people. You see, this is where it is very important that one should be able to empathize with other people, because other people will experience the world in much the same way as yourself. In any case, most other people will experience the world from the first person perspective. And if you're an atheist and you do not believe in immortal souls or anything like that, then the same argument applies to other people, that their life is the only thing they will ever know. It is all important to them. It is the only thing they will ever experience. They will never experience anything beyond their finite life. And now it becomes very important then how you interact with such people, with such finite people, mortal people, who are only ever going to experience a short amount of time in the universe. Put yourself in their position. You see, that is why you need to be able to empathize. You need to be able to put yourself in their position and imagine what it is like to be at the receiving end of your behavior. And then you start realizing that it is important how you interact with other people. You see, if you extend an act of kindness towards another person who is mortal and is only going to live for a finite amount of time, that will stay with them for as long as they live. It will never be gone from them, conversely speaking. Similarly, if you extend an act of cruelty to another person, that will never leave them. So it will become an important part of their lives, if it is bad enough, and it will ruin the rest of their lives, and it will never be removed from them. So it is important that you don't do that. It is important that you try and interact with other people in a kind way, in a humane way. Imagine, for example, you've got a good friend who is dying. If you are with that person leading up to their death, and you're with them when they die, realize that you will never be away from that person again, as far as they're concerned, from their perspective. You will have been with them until the end, so they will never know your absence again. If you've been kind to them during those last few hours, they will never know any different again. Now, isn't that important? Don't you think? I would think so. And that is why I think an atheistic philosophy or an atheistic outlook on life can be one of the more humane ways of living. It is not all nihilism. It is not all pointlessness and bleakness and why do we even bother? Far from it. And you only need to look at how some Christians, for example, some of them, go about gloating how other people are going to suffer eternally in their warped little world. To see that there's something seriously wrong with their ability to empathize. And that there is something seriously wrong with the sort of religion that turns people into people like that.